So ayan, hello, good day engineers. I'm Engineer Neil Andrew Bartolome. Today, we're going to discuss Differential Calculus 1. So ano ba yung madi-discuss natin under Differential Calculus 1? So first we have the limits, then theorems on limits, then we have the differentiation formulas, the derivatives, then yung mga application ng derivatives. So we have differentials, slope, rate of change. Then we have the curvature, radius of curvature. Then last, we have the generalized law of the mean. Okay, so without further ado, let's start na. Okay, so unahin muna natin yung limits. Okay, so first, limits of a function. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng limits? Okay, wait lang. Okay, so dali lang natin. Okay, so yan. Let f be a function that is defined daw on an open interval containing a but possibly not defined at itself. So let L be a real number. So we have this statement, the limit of f of x, as x approaches a, that is equal to L. So anong ibig sabihin lang niyan, To simplify, yung definition ng limits natin. So yung limit kasi, that is the value nung f of x as the x is getting close to a number na sinet natin. So halimbawa, for this case, ano, as x approaches a, okay, so sabihin natin may value yung a na yon, okay, numerical value, let's say for example, yung function natin that is f of x, so lumalapit siya sa value na that is approximately equal to L. Okay? So it defines the limit of the function f of x at the point A. And L is the value that the function has the point is approach. Okay? So we have different theorems on limits. Okay? So let f of x, yung limit natin of f of x as x approaches a is equal to capital A, and the limit ng g of x function natin as x approaches a then, that is equal to capital B. Okay? So we have two functions. We have f of x and g of x. So matitingnan natin yung mga different theorems natin. So we have the first theorem. Okay? So separate terms lang. Then second theorem, the limit of f of x as x approaches a exists. Okay? Kapag nag-exist itong function na to, ay itong limit na to, I mean, therefore, yung limit na to is unique. Okay? The number 3, so we have the sum or difference rule. Okay, so we have the same limit lang pero meron tayong dalawang terms. So we have f of x and g of x. So pwede natin siyang ipaghiwalay. Okay, so let's say the limit of f of x as x approaches a. So dinefine naman natin siya kanina, di ba? That is equal to capital A. Then ito naman g of x, yung limit niya, that is equal to capital B. So simply, a plus or minus b. Okay, the number 4, so we have the product rule. So since same din yung limit natin as x approaches a lang din, okay, so pwede natin paghiwalay, then multiply natin. Okay, so we have f of x, yung limit ng f of x as x approaches a multiplied by the limit ng g of x as x approaches a. So multiply lang natin a and b. Okay, that is the product rule for the limits. Then we have the quotient, okay, theorem. So f of x over g of x. So distribute, parang i-distribute lang natin yung limit na to. Okay? Sa numerator and sa denominator. Okay, that is equal to A or B. So take note, dapat yung value ng B natin should not be equal to 0. Okay po? Then number 6. So halimbawa, sa reciprocal natin, so we have limit ng 1 over g of x as x approaches A. That is equal to 1 over B. But take note, same din sa fifth theorem natin, dapat yung value ng B natin should not be equal to 0. Okay? Then, we have additional theorems din sa limits. Okay, so ito power rule to guys, So we have limit ng f of x raised to n, okay, as x approaches a. So parang ipapasok lang natin yung limit dito. Okay? Before natin So bago natin raise to n. But take note that yung n natin should be greater than 0. Okay? Then for the constant naman, so halimbawa, meron tayong f of x, then meron tayong constant. Pwede natin siyang ihiwalay. Okay? Kasi since constant lang naman siya, so ihiwalay natin siya dito sa function f of x natin. Then, yung limit, kasi yung kinukunan natin yung limit is yung function itself. Okay? So, ihiwalay natin yung constancy natin. Okay? Then for the number 9, same din dito. Okay? Since may constant, ihiwalay natin. Okay? So, we have this exponent na raised to n. Okay? That is equal to c a raised to n. Okay? Sinubstitute lang natin yung value ng x that is equal to a. Okay? So mamaya i-define natin yan, parang nag-solve na tayo ng problems. Kung paano natin i-apply yung mga limits sa functions natin. The number 10, so ito nag-apply naman sa polynomial. So we have, if f is a polynomial function, then the limit of f of x as x approaches a is equal to f of a. Okay, so let's say, magsusulat siguro tuloy ako dito. Asan na yun? Ay, hindi pa. Wait lang ah. Yung kasi nakikita yung mga, ano, ah, okay, so, ayan, yung 7, 8, 9, and 10 yung polynomial, di ba? Nangyari. So, balikan natin. Number 10, so polynomial. Then 11 naman for the square root, okay? So, we have the nth root ng f of x as limit ng function na to, okay, as x approaches a. So, pwede nating ipasok yung limit na to, okay, sa loob ng root natin. Whereas, yung n dapat should be a positive integer. Okay, malinaw? Then, for the number 12 naman, so, if f of x, if yung h of x pala, is between ng f of x and g of x. So dito papasok yung squeeze theorem na tinatawag natin. So matatandaan nyo yan way back nung differential calculus pa kayo. Okay? So for all x in an open interval containing a, kung titingnan natin yung h of x kasi trap between f of x and g of x. So say for example, if limit ng f of x as x approaches a is equal to a, then yung g of x din naman as x approaches a is also equal to a. Therefore, yung limit ng h of x natin as x approaches a is also equal to a. Okay? So for the, ano ba tawag dito? So for the polynomial function, so let's say for example, we have, palitan natin. Wait lang ah. So we have limit, say for example, as x approaches 1. So we have this polynomial, x squared plus 3x plus 4. Okay? So that is equal to f of 1. Okay? So let's say ito f of x to. Okay? So substitute lang natin yung 1 dito sa mga x natin. So we have that is equal to 1 squared plus 3 times 1 plus 4. So we have 1 plus 3 plus 4. So we have 8. Okay? So yan yung answer natin. For the polynomial, ganun. Okay? The next, for the L'Hopital's rule naman, so ito ginagamit kapag indeterminate type. Okay, yung case natin. So anong ibig sabihin ng indeterminate? So halimbawa, yung lumabas na value, okay, once na nag-set tayo ng limits or in-evaluate natin yung limit. So halimbawa, yung lumabas na value is both numerator and denominator are equal to 0. So therefore ito, indeterminate ito. Or kapag infinity over infinity, indeterminate din yan. Okay? So, ayan, burahin ko lang. Wait lang ah. So, if A is a number daw, then if f of x and g of x are differentiable and g of x is not equal to 0 for all x on some interval, so we have this limit of f of x, as x approaches a is equal to 0, then limit ng g of x natin as x approaches a is also equal to 0. So halimbawa kung ganito yung format ng function natin, ano? So halimbawa may denominator and tawag dito may numerator denominator tayo. So let's say for example, we have wait lang ah. Kasi nag okay. So halimbawa, limit ng x of a. So we have f of x, g of x. So ito yung function natin. Okay? So therefore, yung f of x natin is equal to 0 as x approaches a, yung limit niya is equal to 0/0. Therefore, ito, indeterminate case ito. Okay? So paano natin siya isosolve? So instead of using limits kaagad, so ang gagawin natin, i-differentiate muna natin separately yung numerator and denominator. Okay? So kung titingnan natin dito sa slide na to, so meron tayong fx prime, okay? So kukunin natin yung first derivative ng f of x, then kukunin din natin yung first derivative ng g of x. Okay? Then once na kinuha natin, okay, yung first derivative, then saka natin i-evaluate yung limit. So magsiset tayo ng x is equal to a. Okay? So ganun lang kapag L'Hopital's rule. Then ito yung pinakamadali, yung shortcut method natin for limit. So, usually kasi sinisimplify muna natin yung function, ano, para mas madali yung pag-evaluate. Kasi kapag hindi natin sinimplify, so most probably yung lalabas dyan is indeterminate or does not exist na case. Okay, yung mga infinity case. So, para mas makuha natin yung tamang sagot, okay, so ang ginagawa natin, shortcut method na lang. Okay? Instead of simplifying the expression or the function. So, halimbawa, nag-set tayo ng limit na x approaches 2. So, therefore, i-input ninyo yung function na yun sa calculator, then set nyo yung x, yung value ng x that is approximately equal to 2. Yung pinakamalapit na value. So, let's say 1.9999 na, okay? Or mas mataas sa value ng 2. So, let's say 2.0001. Okay? Then, kapag negative 5 naman, so set natin yung x that is equal to negative 4.9999 or greater than negative 5. Ano, I mean less than negative 5. So we have negative 5.0001. Okay, for the infinity naman, ano, may makis kasi yung x natin approaches infinity. So kapag positive infinity, so we use 99999. Okay? Or kapag negative infinity, negative 99999. Ganun. Okay? Yung sa-substitute natin na value sa calculator. So, ganun lang kadali. So, we have differentiation formulas na tayo. So, let's say meron tayong u, v, and w, and these are the differentiable functions ng x, and a and n naman yung constant. So, definition lang naman ito dito sa differentiation formulas. So, first we have the algebraic functions. So, first is yung constant, ano? Derivative ng constant natin is equal to 0. Then next, we have for the constant rule natin, ano? So, kalimbawa, meron tayo ditong u, which is yung function ng x natin. Okay, so therefore, meron siya katabi na constant c. So, therefore, iiwalay natin yung c. Okay, then, differentiate natin yung u with respect to x. Then, number 3 naman, so we have the sum rule. Okay? So, meron tayong first term. Okay? Then, ito naman, second term. Okay, so i-differentiate natin siya separately. Okay, so we have du over dx plus dv over dx. The next, we have the product rule. Okay, so ito yung formula natin dyan, u times dv over dx plus v times du over dx. Okay, number 5 naman, so ito yung pinaka-ginagamit natin, which is the power rule. Okay, so bababa lang natin yung constant n. Okay, times u times n, susubtract natin ng 1 kasi binaba natin yung isang n, di ba? Then, multiplied by derivative ng u with respect to x. The number 6 naman, for the square root rule, so ito naman yung formula, du over dx, derivative ng u with respect to x over t times square root ng u. Okay? So, take note, dapat yung u natin should not be equal to 0 kasi nasa denominator ito. Okay? Or pwede rin naman, so we can use product rule, I mean, not product rule, the power rule dito. Okay? Yung square root of u kasi, that is also equal to u raised to 1 half. Okay? So, kung i-differentiate natin siya, so ang gagawin natin dito, burahin muna natin. Then, tayo. Wait lang ha. Wait lang. Kung problema tayo sa ano, screen natin. Okay, so ayan. Wait lang. Asa na yung okay. So since power rule, halimbawa, yung using power rule, so that is equal to u raised to 1 half. So gagawin natin, bababa natin yung 1 half. So we have u 1 half minus 1, okay, times du over dx. Okay, simplify natin ito. So we have 1 half times 1 half minus 1, so we have negative 1 half, di ba? So du over dx. Then simplify pa natin ulit. So itong u raised to negative 1 half, so nasa denominator na yan. So we have 2 square root of u. Ito ano? So yung u raised to negative 1 half, that is also equal to 1 over square root of u. So we have du over dx. Ano? So yan yung number 6. So parang ano lang siya. Same lang din sa power rule. Then number 7 naman, for the quotient rule, so we have the derivative ng u over v. So ang gagawin natin, yung denominator is square natin yan. Then dito naman sa numerator, so we have v, copy dito yung v, times yung derivative ng u minus u times the derivative ng v with respect to x. And take note, dapat yung value ng v natin should not be equal to 0. Okay? The number 8 naman, so halimbawa may constant tayo sa numerator. Okay? So, itong number 8, almost the same lang siya dito sa number 7, quotient rule. Okay? So, itong number 5 and 6, magkarugtong lang ito. Then 7 and 8, magkarugtong lang ito. Okay? Pwede natin i-apply yung quotient rule dito sa number 8. Okay? Then, we have the logarithmic and exponential function. So, number 1, we have the logarithm ng base natin is a. So, ito yung differentiation formulas for that. So, we have the derivative ng u with respect to x all over u times the natural logarithm ng a. Then, for the logarithm naman with base 10, okay, so ito naman yung differentiation formula niya. So, we have log base 10, e. Ano, naka-exponential tayo dito. Yung base natin is e times d over dx all over u. Okay, or pwede rin ito, 0.43429. Okay, so ito yung definition ng log 10e. Okay, times d over dx all over u. Then number 3 naman, kapag natural logarithm, okay, so yung u natin, gagawin natin yung derivative ng u natin, ilalagay natin sa numerator, then yung u na lang is nasa denominator. Okay? And make sure dapat yung u natin should not be equal to 0. Then number 4, exponential function with base a. Okay, so ito yung formula dyan. So a raised to u, times natural logarithm ng a, times the derivative ng u with respect to x. Then number 5, derivative ng exponential function with base e. Okay, so kanina a. So itong a, constant ito. Okay? Then ito naman e. Okay, so we have e raised to u times d over dx. The number 6 naman, so meron tayong dalawang functions dito. So we have u and v. So ito yung formula dyan. So we have VU times V minus 1, okay, times D over dx, okay, plus UV times ln U times dV over dx. So, yan yung formula natin dyan for number 6. So, next we have the trigonometric functions. So, D over dx naman ng sine. So, we have cosine. Ano? For the cosine, negative sine. Okay? So, parang ginagamit natin dito is chain rule, ano? Okay? So, we have derivative ng tangent. So, we have secant squared u times ito yung inner natin, yung u, i-differentiate natin siya. So for the reciprocal naman, cotangent u, so we have negative cosecant squared u times the derivative ng u with respect to x. Then we have the secant that is equal to secant u tangent u times the derivative ng u with respect to x. Then last for the cosecant, we have the negative cosecant u, cotangent u. Okay? Then, hindi, for ano to eh, for hyperbolic. So disregard lang natin ito. Okay, na-copy ko lang. So next we have the trigonometric ito. Wait lang. May kulang ba? Okay, so hindi siya hyperbolic ano. So inverse trigonometric. So trigonometric functions. Okay, for the trigonometric functions naman, so we have arc sine u that is equal to d over dx all over the square root of 1 minus u squared. Okay, for the arc cosine naman, so we have negative na. Okay, so same lang dito sa number 1 pero negative sign. Okay, then for the arc tangent naman, du over dx all over 1 plus u squared. Then for the arc cotangent, so same lang dito sa arc tangent, ano? Sadyang may negative sign lang dito sa unahan. Okay? So for the arc secant naman, ito naman, derivative ng u with respect to x all over u times the square root of u squared minus 1. Then for the arc cosecant, same lang sa number 5 pero may negative sign na. Okay? So yan yung mga tip natin dyan para mas mabilis yung pag-memorize natin. So, ito for hyperbolic yun. Ano? So, disregard nyo lang yung nilagay natin kanina. So, problem 1. So, find the limit ano, ng 1 minus sine squared theta, okay, raised to 1 half as theta approaches 0. So, anong gagawin natin dito? So, kung titingnan natin, meron tayong inner function dito, 1 minus sine squared theta. Then, meron tayong naka 1 half, raised to 1 half ito. Okay, so we can use power rule dito. Pero kung titingnan natin, 1 minus sine squared theta, so parang may makikita tayong trigonometric identity, ano? So kung titingnan natin, cosine squared theta, ano, plus sine squared theta is equal to 1. Ano? So from trigonometric identity ito, so isolate natin yung 1 minus sine squared theta, makukuha natin is cosine squared theta. Okay? Then, substitute natin yung 1 minus sine squared theta by cosine squared theta. Then raise to 1 half ito. Okay? So gagawin natin, cosine squared theta, in-square root natin, so matitira na lang is cosine theta. Then substitute natin, cosine theta, yung theta dapat equal to 0. Okay? And yung makukuha nating value, that is equal to 1. So the answer is 1 for problem A. Okay? For the shortcut method, gagawin lang natin, let theta natin is equal to 0.0001. Ano? Degree. Okay? So make sure dapat naka-degree tayo, hindi radians. Ano? So we have 1 minus sine squared, 0.0001 raised to 1 half. So makuha natin dyan is 0.9995 or approximately equal to 1. Okay? Then, part B. So, the limit ng function natin, so yung numerator natin is absolute value ng x over x as x approaches 0. Okay? So, kung titingnan natin, we have, check natin yung right-hand limits, then yung left-hand limits. So, for the right-hand limits, so for the positive values, yung absolute value ng x natin is equal to x itself. So, x approaches, 0 sa positive. So, we have x over x is equal to 1. But for the negative values, yung absolute value ng x natin is equal to negative x. So, substitute lang natin. Instead of positive x sa numerator, negative x na yung ginamit natin. And yung makuha nating value dyan is equal to negative 1. Okay? So, magka-cancel out yung x natin dyan. So magka-cancel out. Yung matitira is -1. Okay? And kung titingnan natin, hindi equal yung 1 and -1. So therefore, yung answer natin dyan is does not exist. Okay? And kung shortcut naman yung gagamitin natin, if i-check natin yung right-hand limit, so let x natin is equal to 0.001. Okay? Substitute natin. Absolute value nito, 0.0001. That is equal to 1. Okay? Then kapag ginamit naman natin is -0.0001, substitute lang natin. Okay? Absolute value nito is 0.0001. Then ito naman, -0.001. Makuha natin is -1. Okay? So, both of them are not equal. Therefore, yung answer natin does not exist pa rin. Okay? Then for the letter C, so meron tayo ditong piecewise function. The limit of f of x given that yung f of x daw, kapag greater than 4 yung value ng x natin, so ito yung function natin, the square root of x minus 4. Then kapag less than 4 naman, okay, yung f of x natin is equal to 8 minus 2x. So paano natin siya i-evaluate, yung limit na to? So kung titingnan natin, substitute natin yung x expression, kung titingnan natin dyan, yung 0, okay, is less than 4. So therefore, yung x na sinubstitute natin is less than 4. So therefore, ito yung gagamitin natin na function, 8 minus 2x. Okay, substitute lang, 8 minus 0. So we have 8. Yan yung answer natin for part C. Okay po. And for the shortcut naman, so 8 minus 2. So gamitin natin 0.0001. So makuha din natin is 8 din. Approximately equal to 8. Okay? The next, so limit ng sign 1 over x as x approaches 0. So kung titingnan natin as x approaches 0, yung function 1 over x natin, magiging infinity yan. Okay? So therefore, DNA yung sagot natin dito. Okay, then next, yung limit naman ng ln of x natin, natural logarithm ng x over x as x approaches 0. So shortcut method na lang gamitin natin dito. So let x is equal to 0.0001. Okay? So ln, natural logarithm ng 0.001 over 0.0001, that is equal to, approximately equal to, negative 92,103 and blah blah blah. So kung titingnan natin, mataas na yung value na nakuha. So approximately equal to negative infinity na. So therefore, DNE pa rin yung sagot. Then for letter F, so polynomial case, so we have x minus 4 all over x squared minus x minus 12. So as x approaches 4, so ang gawin natin, shortcut method, so substitute lang natin, let x is equal to 4.001. So substitute lang natin dito sa polynomial natin. Okay? Then makukuha natin na sagot is 0.14. Okay? Or kung titingnan natin siya into fraction, that is approximately equal to 1 over 7. And for part G naman, so yung limit ng function natin, 1 minus cosine x over x squared as x approaches 0. So shortcut method lang din. So let x is equal to 0.001. Okay? So substitute lang. And yung makukuha nating value dyan is approximately equal to 0.5. So ganun lang kadali kapag shortcut method. So we don't have to simplify or modify the function para makuha natin yung kinukuha or yung limit mismo sa function na yon. Okay? So ang gagawin natin, so pipili lang tayo ng pinaka-nearest value dun sa limit na yon and isasalpak natin siya or isa-substitute dun sa function para makuha natin yung limit na kinukuha. I mean yung value ng function na yon. As the limit approaches to a certain value na sinet. So let's say for example dito x approaches 0. So anong magiging value nitong function na to? That is 1 minus cosine x over x squared kapag yung x daw natin approaches 0. So yung sagot daw is 0.5. So ganun yung definition ng limit. Okay po? So for problem 2 naman, so derivatives na tayo. So first we have y is equal to e raised to x times cosine x squared. Okay? So titingnan natin, meron tayong dalawang terms, e raised to x, then cosine x squared. So product rule. So let q is equal to e raised to x, then v natin is equal to cosine x squared. Okay? So derivative ng u with respect to x, so same lang din, e raised to x. Then derivative ng v natin with respect to x. Kung titingnan, may inner function dito, which is x squared. So therefore, we will be using chain rule. Okay? Derivative ng v with respect to x, we have negative sign for the trigonometric, x squared, copy lang, times derivative ng x squared. So power rule, we have 2x. Okay? that is equal to negative 2x sin x squared kapag sinimplify natin. And now, ito yung gagamitin natin. Ano? Since product rule ito. Okay, copy lang yung value ng u times ito plus v times d over dx. Okay? So, sinimplify lang natin, in-isolate lang natin yung e raised to x. Okay? And therefore, ito yung sagot natin for problem A. Next, part B. So, we have y is equal to secant squared t minus tan squared t. So, kung titingnan natin, pwede tayong gumamit ng trigonometric identity. Ano? So, we have 1 plus tan squared t that is equal to secant squared t. So, substitute natin ito dito. So, we have y is equal to 1 plus tan squared t minus tan squared t. So, magka-cancel out ito. So, y is equal to 1. Then, differentiate natin, 0. Okay? Derivative ng constant is 0 lagi. Okay? Part C naman. So, we have y is equal to arc cotangent ng x plus arc tangent ng 2 plus x all over 1 minus 2x. Okay? So we have dalawang terms. Term 1, itong arc cotangent ng x. Then term 2 is ito. Okay, kung titingnan natin, may inner function ito. So therefore, gagamit tayo ng chain rule dito. Okay, and ito naman, kung titingnan natin, naka-fraction siya. So therefore, we will be using quotient rule din dun sa chain rule na yon. Okay? So, unahin muna natin yung term 1 para mas madali. So, yung arc cotangent x, so binigay ko naman yung differentiation formulas for inverse trigonometric functions. So, we have negative 1 over 1 plus x squared. Then, for term 2 naman, so let q is equal to 2 plus x all over 1 minus 2x. Okay? So, yung derivative nito, that is equal to 1 minus 2x squared, yung quantity, squared, times, okay, copy lang natin yung 1 minus 2x, okay, times derivative ng 2 plus x, we have 1. Then minus 2 plus x times derivative nitong 1 minus 2x, so we have negative 2. Okay, then simplify natin. We get 5 all over the quantity of 1 minus 2x squared. Then next, ito yung chain rule natin dito sa second term. So we have 1 over 1 plus u squared. So ito yung differentiation formula for the arctangent, 1 over 1 plus u squared or 1 plus x squared. Okay, times d over dx. So nakuha na natin yung d over dx, which is ito. Okay, then yung u naman, dinefine natin. So we have 1 over 1 plus u squared. Ito yung value ng u natin. Isi-square lang natin siya. Then next, isi-simplify natin ito. So ang mangyayari, 1 minus 2x squared, ito malilipat sa taas, pero kailangan natin i-multiply yung 1 minus 2x squared dito. Okay? So, simplify natin yung denominator. So, we have 1 minus 2x squared times 1. So, we have 1 minus 2x squared plus the quantity of 2 plus x squared. So, yun. Simplify natin para makuha natin yung simplified value, which is 5 plus 5x squared. So, ito na yung denominator natin dito. Okay? Then, meron tayong 1 minus 2x squared na dyan. So, ito magiging 5 plus 5x squared na. Then, itong sa taas, instead na 1, magiging 1 minus 2x squared na. Okay? And magka-cancel out ito. So, ang matitira, so we have 5 over 5 times the quantity of 1 plus x squared. Then, simplify natin, magka-cancel out ito. So, we have 1 over 1 plus x squared. So, ang mangyari, ito yung sagot natin sa term 2. Okay? Ipag-add natin dito sa term 1, which is negative nito. Negative 1 over 1 plus x squared plus 1 over 1 plus x squared. So, makukuha natin dyan is equal to 0. Okay? Magka-cancel out lang ito. Okay? Then next, differentiate natin. So, meron pa tayong ibang problems dito sa differentiation formulas. So, part D. So, we have f of z. So, polynomial ito, 4 over the square root of z. The square root ng z raised to 4 minus 1 over 8 times the square root of z squared plus 2 all over 3 times z raised to 10. So, ang gagawin natin dito is isi-simplify natin siya or i-rewrite yung function natin. So, kung ito, z raised to 4, in-square root natin, z squared to. Okay? And yung 1 over z squared, that is also equal to z raised to negative 2. Okay? Simplify lang natin para mas madali yung pag-differentiate natin. Then, we will be using power rule dito. Okay? Derivative ng 4 times z raised to negative 2. So, ibababa natin yung negative 2. Okay? Times 4 times z minus 2. Then, magsusubtract tayo ng 1 dito sa exponent natin. Okay? So, we have negative 8 times z raised to negative 3. Then, same process lang dito sa second and third term natin. Okay? For the second term, we have 1 over 8 times z raised to negative 2. Then for the third term naman, okay? So we have negative 10, ibababa lang natin, times 2 third, times z minus 10 minus 1. So we have negative 20 over 3 times z raised to negative 11. Then, since nakuha na natin yung kanya-kanyang differentiation niya or derivative ng kada terms natin, so ipag-add lang natin. So ito yung makuha nating sagot. Okay, for part B. Next, for part E naman, y is equal to natural logarithm ng function natin, which is x squared over sine 2x. Okay? Then meron tayong conditions. So sa substitute natin later, x is equal to 2. Okay? So we will be using logarithmic properties. So kung matatandaan natin for logarithm, properties ng natural logarithm natin, okay, the natural logarithm ng a over b is equal to natural logarithm ng a minus natural logarithm ng b. Okay? So ito yung magiging simplified form natin dyan. Okay? Then, gagawin natin, okay, another logarithmic properties, itong square na to, or raised to 2, pwede natin yung ibaba, So, itong ln x squared, that is also equal to 2 ln x. Okay? Then, we have ln sin 2x, copy lang. Then, meron na tayong dalawang terms. Okay? So, i-differentiate natin siya separately. For first term, So, alam naman natin yung natural logarithm ng x, yung derivative niya is equal to 1 over x lang. Okay? So, we have 2 over x for term 1. How about for term 2? Okay, kung titingnan natin, meron tayo ditong inner function which is sine. Okay? Trigonometric function. So, therefore, we will be using differentiation formulas for trigonometry. Particularly yung sine. Okay? So, ang gawin natin, okay, yung derivative ng natural logarithm natin itong inner function which is sine over 2x, copy lang, 1 over sine 2x times derivative ng sine 2x. So we have derivative ng sine 2x is equal to 2 times cosine 2x. Okay? So gagawin natin, we have this, So mumultiply natin dito sa 1 over sine 2x. So we have cosine 2x over sine 2x. So we have, ito na lang, dito lang sa taas. So we have cosine 2x over sine 2x. So that is equal to 1 over tangent 2x. And that is also equal to cotangent 2x, So, ayan. So, therefore, ipag-add natin yung dalawang terms. Erase lang natin yung sulat dito sa... Okay na yan. So, we have 2 over x ito minus 2 cotangent ng 2x. Okay? Then, substitute natin at x is equal to 2. Hindi pa tayo tapos, Kasi may conditions tayong sinet. So, substitute lang natin yung x is equal to 2. So, we have 2 over 2 minus 2 cotangent ng 4. Okay? So, we have 1 minus 2 cotangent ng 4. We have negative 0.73. And yan yung answer natin for problem E. Okay, part E. So, next naman, part F. Okay, so we have f of t that is equal to t raised to 5 minus 3t squared plus 4t all over t cubed. Okay. So, alisin natin yung denominator. Simplify natin or rewrite natin yung function. So, we have t5, t raised to 5 all over t raised to 3. So, 5 minus 3, we have 2. So, we have t squared minus 3 copy t squared minus t squared over t cubed. Okay, so 2 minus 3, we have negative 1. Then ito naman, t raised to negative 1 at t raised to 1 or t lang itself, all over t cubed. Okay, so we have 1 minus 3, we have negative 2. Okay, then gagamitin natin is power rule. Okay, so susolve natin yung derivative ng kada term. So we have first term t squared, derivative niya is 2t. Though second term, negative 3 times t raised to negative 1, then power rule lang. So we have 3t raised to negative 2. Okay? Then for the fourth t raised to negative 2, yung derivative naman niya is negative 8 times t raised to negative 3. Then, ipag-add natin yung mga nakuha nating derivative ng kada term. So we have 2t plus 3 over t squared minus 8 over t cubed. And yan yung answer natin for part F, guys. Okay? Then, for the last problem sa differentiation, so meron tayo ditong function, So, exponential function na ang base natin is e. Okay, e raised to ln 4x, natural logarithm ng 4x plus e raised to natural logarithm ng 4y that is equal to 1. So, paano natin siya isosolve? So, kung titingnan natin yung logarithmic properties, okay? So, e raised to natural logarithm ng u that is also equal to u. Bakit? Ano mangyayari dito? So, wait lang. So, we have e ln u. So, kung matatandaan natin, pwede nating ibaba yung ln u. Okay? So, we have u ln e. So, yung ln e, natural logarithm ng e, that is also equal to 1. So, therefore, that is equal to u lang din. Okay? So, we have, kung titingnan natin, so matitira dito for x and for y. So, we have e ln for x plus e for y is equal to 1. So, we have for x ln e plus for y ln is equal to 1. So, ito 1, then ito 1 rin. So, we have for x plus for y is equal to 1. Okay? Then, derivative ng x. Okay? So, we have 1. Okay? 4 plus 4 times. So, nag-implicit differentiation tayo dito. Okay? So, we have dy over dx is equal to 0. Then, lipat natin itong 4 na to sa right side. Okay? Ng equation natin. So, we have 4 times dy over dx is equal to negative 4. Then, lipat din natin itong 4 na to. So, we have negative 4 divided by 4 that is equal to negative 1. Okay? So, the answer is negative 1. Okay? For this problem. So, next topic guys. So, applications na tayo ng derivatives. Engineering application ng derivatives. So, first, define muna natin kung ano yung derivative. So, the derivative of y that is equal to f of x is the limit of the ratio of incremental change of x to the incremental change of y as the incremental change of x approaches 0. So, ang ginagamit kasi natin na incremental change of x, so, almost equal to 0. So, pinakamalit na value yung ginagawa nating increments dito sa derivative. And by mathematical definition, ito yung definition natin ng derivative. So, the limit, ng incremental change of y, with respect to the incremental change of x, as the incremental change of x approaches 0, that is the limit. Okay? Itong f of x plus the incremental change in x minus f of x all over delta x or the incremental change of x, as the delta x approaches 0. Okay? So may mga ibang terms na ginagamit tayo, ito yung mathematical definition, but yung mga notations natin, okay, sa differential calculus. So we have y prime, ito yung kadalasan ginagamit natin na notation, or pwede ring dy over dx, or pwede ring f prime of x, or ito, okay, d sub x y, okay? Pero ito yung pinakakadalasang ginagamit natin, itong first two, okay, na notations pagdating sa derivatives, or sa differentiations mismo. Okay? And ano naman yung differential? So, yung differential guys, okay? So, ang meaning lang naman yan, nagkakaroon tayo ng tiny change since nagagamit tayo ng increments, So, gumagamit tayo ng increments. So, therefore, ang nangyari is nagkakaroon ng tiny changes in y dahil na rin sa tiny changes in x. So, yan yung pinaka-definition ng differential natin. Okay? So, parang ang definition, halimbawa, ang definition ng derivative is a rate of change. Meanwhile, the differential naman, yung definition niya is a small piece of change. So let's say, nagkakaroon ng pagbabago dito sa y, ng maliit na pagbabago dito sa y, dahil na rin sa maliit na pagbabago dito sa x. Okay? So, ayan. By definition, this is equal to the increment of the variable. Yan ang definition ng differential ng variable mismo. So, for variable y daw, the differential, is delta y or dy, and for variable x, the differential is delta x. So, di ko nalagay yung ano ba tawag dito? Yung differential na symbol. Okay, so we have delta y, then ito naman, delta x. Okay? So, yung definition natin, dy dx lang to, delta y, delta x. Okay? Delta y over delta x is called differential quotient. Okay? So, ayan. So, let's try to solve some problems here. So, given the function that y is equal to x multiplied by d, quantity of x plus 1 cube, determine the value of second derivative daw at x is equal to 1. Okay, so paano natin siya isosolve? So kung titingnan natin, meron tayong dalawang terms and pinag-multiply natin. So therefore, may product rule tayo dito. Then meron tayo ditong quantity of x plus 1 raised to 3. So magpa-power rule din. So paano natin siya isosolve? So unahin muna natin yung first derivative. So first derivative, so ito muna, derivative ng x. So we have 1 times, copy lang ito, x plus 1 cube, then plus x, then derivative nitong x plus 1 raised to 3. So we have power rule, 3 times x plus 1 squared, 3 minus 1 kasi that's why naging 2 ito, times 1. Okay? So yung 1, galing yan dito sa inner function natin, okay, yung x, yung derivative niya. Okay? Then simplify natin, we have x plus 1 cube plus 3x times x plus 1 squared. Then second derivative tayo. So ito, power rule. So we have 3 times quantity of x plus 1 squared plus, so ito magpa-product rule tayo. Okay? Product rule. So we have 3, derivative ng 3x is 3, times, copy lang ito, x plus 1 squared plus 3x, copy lang, times, okay? So ito, power rule, baba natin, 2 minus 1, magiging 1 na lang ito, times x plus 1, times 1. Okay, di ko na sinali yung times 1 tulad dito kasi times 1 equal to 1 lang din. Okay, so pwede natin i-neglect na lang. So we have, to simplify this, so we have 3 times x plus 1 squared plus 3 times x plus 1 squared. So 3 plus 3, we have 6 times the quantity of x plus 1 squared. Plus, copy natin ito, 3 times 2, we have 6x times x plus 1. Okay? So evaluate natin, meron tayong sinet na condition, x is equal to 1. So let x is equal to 1. Okay, so we have 6 times 1 plus 1 squared plus 6 times 1 times 1 plus 1, we get 36. Okay, yan yung answer natin for problem 3. Next. So find the differential of x is equal to 1/3 ng t cubed minus square root of t plus 1 over t squared. So ang gagawin natin, i-rewrite natin yung function, then saka tayo magdi-differentiate. Okay, kung titingnan natin, meron tayong tatlong terms. So we have 1, 2, and third term. So okay, so we have yung square root of t, pwede nating gawing t raised to 1/2. Okay? So gawan natin ang exponent para makapag-power rule tayo. Okay? Then itong t squared gawin natin t raised to -2. Okay? Instead na gagamit tayo ng quotient rule for this one, mas madali kapag power rule lang. Kaya nire-rewrite natin yung function na yun. Okay? So we have derivative ng x with respect to t. So we have 1/3 times 3 times t squared minus 1/2 times t raised to -1/2 plus -2 times t raised to -3. Okay? Then simplify natin. Ito yung magiging derivative niya. Then next, isolate natin yung dx. Okay? So ito yung magiging sagot. Okay? So ganun lang kadali yung differential. So next, we have the slope of the curve. Okay? So ano bang ibig sabihin ng slope of the curve? So yung slope of the curve at any point, halimbawa, meron sa ating binigay na function, So yung slope of the curve, simply, that is the differential mismo. I mean, the derivative mismo. Okay? At that point na yon. So usually may sineset sa atin na na coordinates, or points. So nakalagay dito the slope of the curve. So meron sa ating binigay na curve. So let's say y is equal to f of x at any point is identical to the derivative. So itong slope equal lang siya sa derivative. Okay, ng function na yon. Okay, dy over dx or yung y prime in other notation. So yung slope of any point, derivative lang yun ng function na binigay sa atin. And on the other hand, rate of change, so derivative din yan. Okay? So, halimbawa, yung derivative ng function natin is identical din siya. Okay? Sa rate of change. So, halimbawa, dito sa slope of the curve, yung derivative identical sa slope. Ito naman, yung derivative ng function natin, identical din sa rate of change pagdating sa rate of change na topic. Okay? So, halimbawa, meron tayo ditong, ano ba tawag dito? So, halimbawa, meron tayo ditong sphere. Okay? So, ayun. So, halimbawa, meron tayong balloon dito. Then, halimbawa, nagkaroon ng butas dyan. So, anong nangyari? Yung air lalabas, di ba? So, anong mangyayari? Anong tendency dito sa balloon na yun? Siyempre, liliit yan. So, magkakaroon ng change in volume. Okay? And usually, halimbawa, ina-express natin siya, since nagbabago yung volume, nagkakaroon rin ng changes sa radius. Okay? So, halimbawa, ito yung initial radius niya, then ito yung magiging radius niya after a certain time. Ano? Kasi, yun nga, lumalabas yung air. So, halimbawa, yung rate of change yan, ano ng volume nitong sphere, with respect to the radius r, okay? So, yun na yung rate of change na yun. Okay? So, dv over dr. Okay? So, yun yung pag-express natin ng rate of change. Okay? So, we denote this as differential volume over differential ng radius. Okay? So, yan. Other definition, halimbawa, gano'n ba kabilis magbago or mag-shrink yung volume ng sphere natin habang lumiliit yung radius niya. Okay? So, ganun yung definition natin pagdating sa rate of change. Then, let's try to solve some problems here. So, find the slope of the curve x squared plus y squared minus 6x plus 10y plus 5 is equal to 0 at point. Okay, so meron tayong x and y. 1 for the abscissa, then y for the ordinate. Okay? So, for the solution, so ang gagawin natin, differentiate muna natin itong curve na to with respect to x. And kung titingnan natin, meron tayong mga y squared, 10y. So, we will be using implicit differentiation. Okay? So, we have first term, second term, third term, fourth term, and fifth term. Okay? So, differentiate natin ito. X squared magiging 2x. Y squared, we have 2y times dy over dx minus 6 plus 10 times dy over dx plus derivative ng constant is 0. Okay? Cancel out na ito. Okay? Then, okay? Isolate natin itong dy over dx. Okay? So, ang ginawa natin, pinagdugtong natin itong 2y and 10. Okay? Times dy over dx. Then, nilipat natin sa right side na equation itong negative 6 and 2x. So, naging 6 minus 2x na siya. Then, lipat natin itong 2y plus 10 sa right side. So, matitira na lang sa left side is yung derivative or dy prime or dy over dx na lang. Ano? So, ito na yung mismong slope natin. Dy over dx is equal to 6 minus 2x all over 2y plus 10. Then, substitute na natin yung sinet na point. Okay? At x is equal to 1 and y daw is equal to 0. So, substitute na lang and we get 4 over 10 or 2 over 5. Okay? And then yung answer natin for problem 5. So, ganun lang kadali for the slope. Then for problem 6 naman, find the equation. So, napakita na yung slope, ano. Anyways, assume lang na hindi pa ninyo to nakikita, no. So, find the equation of the tangent up to the curve. Y is equal to x plus 2x raised to 1/3 through point 8 and 12. Okay, so we have x and y. So, copy natin yung curve natin. Okay, so we have y is equal to x plus 2x 1/3. Ano, so we have first and second term. Kunin natin yung derivative niyan. So we have 1 plus 2 times 1/3 times x. 1/3 minus 1, we have negative 2/3. Okay, that is equal to 1 plus 2 all over 3x raised to 2/3. Then next, okay, calculate natin yung m at x is equal to 8. Okay, so we have m is equal to 1 plus 2 over 3 times 8 raised to 2/3. Okay, simplify natin yan. Makukuha natin yung slope that is equal to 7 over 6. Pero hindi pa dyan nagtatapos kasi kinukuha natin yung equation ng tangent. Okay? So, anong gagawin natin after that? Once na nakuha natin yung slope. Ang mangyayari dyan, use the point slope formula. So, kung matatandaan natin from analytic geometry, ano yung point slope formula? So, we have y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. So, ito yung magiging x1 natin and ito yung magiging y1 natin kung matatandaan ninyo, ano? So, yung y and x, so leave as it is lang. Okay? So, with 0.8 and 12. Okay? Ito yung x1, ito yung y1. So, substitute natin. Meron na tayong m. Okay? So, we have y minus 12 is equal to 7 over 6 times x minus 8. Okay? Then, simplify natin. Itong 6, pwede natin ilipat dito sa left side. So, we have 6y minus 6 times 12, we have 72 times 7x. Distribute natin yan. Negative 8 times 7, we get negative 56. Okay? So, lipat natin yung x dito sa left side. We get 7x minus 6y. Then, negative 72 plus 56. Or, ilipat na lang pala natin yung left side, okay, yung mga terms natin dito sa left side, sa right side ng equation natin. And ito magiging 0. So, we have 7x minus 6y and negative 56 plus 72, we get 16. That is equal to 0. And then yung answer natin for problem 6. Okay po? So problem 7, find the slope of the line whose parametric equations are x is equal to 4t plus 6 and y is equal to t minus 1. So paano natin siya isosolve? So meron tayong tatlong variables, x, t, and y. So hindi na siya tulad ng dati, ano? So ang gagawin natin, okay, find the derivatives with respect to t. Okay? So ang magiging dependent variable dito is dalawa. Okay, we have x and y, and magiging independent dito is yung t variable. Okay, so we have dx over dt. So ito for yung derivative nito. So ito lang yung may t, di ba? So therefore, yung derivative niya is 4. Then ito naman, y is equal to 1. I mean, dy over dt is equal to 1. Right? Then ang gawin natin, kunin natin yung dy over dx that is equal to dy over dt all over dx over dt. Bakit? So titingnan natin kung sisimplify natin yan. Wait lang. So medyo naglalag yung ano natin. Pen natin, ano? Ito nga. Okay? All over dx over dt. So, mangyayari dyan, dy over dt times dt over dx. So, magka-cancel out lang yung differential time natin. Ano? So, we have dy over dx. Okay? So, substitute lang natin. We have dy over dt natin is 1. Dx over dt natin is 4. So, we have 1/4. Okay? Ganun lang kadali sa problem 7. Ano? Next, problem 8. Determine daw natin yung slope ng polar curve natin. R is equal to tangent theta at theta is equal to pi over 3. So anong gagawin natin dito? So kung titingnan natin, naka-express siya sa polar curve. So para ma-solve natin yung slope, so convert natin yung polar curve into Cartesian. Okay? So we have x is equal to r cosine theta. Yan yung definition, ano? Y is equal to r sine theta. Okay? So halimbawa, ito yung x, ito yung y, ito yung r, ito yung theta. Okay? So imagine nyo, parang nasa triangle siya, no? Sa right triangle. So yung r yung hypotenuse. So makita natin yung x that is equal to r cosine theta. Ano? So kung in case may ma-encounter kayong polar curve, so drawing lang kayo nitong right triangle, then i-label niyo y sa vertical, x horizontal, then yung hypotenuse is r. Okay? Then, kung matatandaan natin, ito din yung definition ng dy over dx pagdating sa polar curve. Okay? So we have r prime sin theta plus r cosine theta all over r prime cosine theta minus r sin theta. Okay? Then take note, yung theta natin, pi over 3. So dinefine natin yan, ano? Then yung r natin, that is equal to square root over 3. Ay, square root of 3. Okay? So, bakit? Tangent ng pi over 3, that is equal to square root over 3. Okay? Then, yung r prime nito, okay, na tangent, theta natin, that is equal to secant squared theta. Okay? That is equal to secant squared. Pag sinubstitute natin yung value ng theta, that is equal to pi over 3. That is equal to 4. Okay? Then take note din, yung sine natin ng theta natin, or pi over 3, that is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Then yung cosine pi over 3 naman natin is 1/2. Okay? So, meron na tayong mga values dyan. So, substitute na lang po natin, ano? So, substitute the values. So, we have dy over dx is equal to r prime, that is equal to 4, times sin theta, that is equal to square root of 3 over 2, plus yung r natin, square root of 3. Ano? Then, yung cosine theta natin, that is equal to 1/2. Multiply natin yan. Then, all over r prime, we have 4 times cosine theta, we have 1/2, minus yung r natin, that is equal to square root of 3, times the sin theta, that is equal to square root of 3 over 2. Okay? So that is equal to 2 square root of 3 plus 0.5 times square root of 3 all over 2 minus 1.5. Simplify natin, makuha natin is 5 times square root of 3. Okay? For problem 8. The next problem 9. So find the rate of change of y with respect to x at the point 3 and 2. So we have x and y if 7y squared minus xy cubed is equal to 4. Okay, paano natin siya isosolve? So kung titingnan natin, ito yung function natin. Ano? So mag-implicit differentiation tayo kasi magkatabi yung y sa x, ano? So we have ito, we have first term, second term, then third term. So derivative ng constant, 0 na lang yan. So ito magiging 0 ito. Ano? So we have 14y times dy over dx, okay, minus 1 times y cube. Ito magpa-product rule tayo, ano? Kasi magkatabi yung x and y. Okay? plus x times 3y squared, power rule yan, times dy over dx is equal to 0. Then simplify na natin. We have 14y times dy over dx minus y cube minus, okay? Kasi negative ito, ano? So, once didistribute natin yung negative sign dito, magiging negative itong positive. So, we have negative 3xy squared times dy over dx is equal to 0. Then, isolate natin yung dy over dx or simplify natin itong equation na to. So, we have dy over dx times 14y minus 3xy squared. Then, isolate natin itong y cube na to. Okay, lipat natin sa right side ng equation. Then, isolate natin yung dy over dx. So, nilipat natin dito sa right side itong 14y minus 3xy squared. Okay? Then, hinahanap natin yung rate of change of y. Ito na yung rate of change. Ano? So, gagawin na lang, substitute na lang natin yung value ng x and y. Okay? So, 3 and 2. So, substitute na lang, 2 cube over 14 times 2 minus 3 times 3 times 2 squared. So, we get 8 over negative 8, we get negative 1. So, yan yung answer natin for problem 9. Ano? So, next, curvature naman. So, yung curvature naman, ano? So, this tells us kung gaano ka-sharp, okay? Yung pag-bend ng curve natin. Or pag-bend ng curve. Okay? So, halimbawa, pag meron kayo nakita na big curve, ano, or masyadong tight yung curve niya, ano, so, definitely mataas yung curvature niyan, ano? And kapag almost straight line naman, so, low yung curvature niyan. Halimbawa, yung makikita niyo yung kurbada sa highway, ano? So, halimbawa, kung masyadong kurbada siya, so therefore, yung radius of curvature niya is mas malaki. Okay? And kung almost straight line naman siya, ano? So therefore, yung radius of curvature niya, okay, is mas maliit lang. Okay? So by definition, yung curvature rate of change din lang naman yan ng direction ng curve. And thus, a circle with smaller radius has great curvature or is sharply curved. Okay? So, ayan, the curvature k of the curve y is equal to f of x is, so ito yung definition ng curvature natin. K is equal to y double prime all over 1 plus the quantity of y prime squared. Ano? Then itong quantity na ito, raised to 3 half nyo. So, halimbawa, may binigay sa atin na equation. So, kukunin natin yung first and second derivative ng equation na yon. Okay? Then, y prime, second derivative, dinefine naman. So, itong naka-absolute value, okay? Y double prime is the absolute or positive value ng y double prime natin. Okay? So, ito naka-absolute value pala ito. Ano? Hindi ko siya na-include. Okay? Regardless kung negative yung lumabas na value dito, so since absolute, so magiging positive siya. Right? Then, in parametric form, ito naman yung definition ng k natin or the curvature. So, we have f prime times g double prime minus f double prime times g prime. So, naka-absolute value yan. All over f prime squared plus g prime squared, ano, raised to 3 half. Then, for the radius of curvature naman, so, yung symbol ng radius natin is rho. Okay? Yung symbol natin for the radius of curvature is rho. That is equal to the inverse. Okay? Or reciprocal nitong k natin or the curvature itself. That is equal to 1 plus, the quantity of 1 plus y prime squared raised to 3 half all over the absolute value ng y double prime. Okay? And kapag polar form naman, ito naman siya. So we have r squared plus r prime squared raised to 3 halves all over r squared plus 2r prime squared minus r times r double prime. Okay? And for the circle of curvature naman, ano? So at any point on the curve, so we have y is equal to f of x where y prime and y double prime exist. And take note dapat yung y double prime natin should not be equal to 0. So therefore, there is an it is associated with the curve of a circle. Ano? So, tinatawag natin siyang circle of curvature. And ito yung equation natin for the circle of curvature. So we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to rho squared. So, kung matatandaan ninyo from analytic geometry, ito yung general equation natin for the circle, di ba? So, kung matatandaan ninyo, yung h and k din yung center and yung radius natin is rho. Okay? And ito naman yung value ng h natin. So, we have x minus y prime times 1 plus y prime squared all over y double prime. Then for the k naman, ito naman. Okay? So we have y plus, iba yung k dito sa k dito guys. Ano? So iba po yung k dito. Ito, okay, yung k dito, ito po yung y coordinates ng center ng center ng circle ng curvature natin. Okay, so we have k is equal to y plus 1 plus y prime squared all over y double. Okay, so let's try to solve some problems here. So problem 10. So find the radius of curvature at any point of the curve y plus ln or natural logarithm ng cosine x is equal to 0. So paano natin siya isa-solve? I-rewrite muna natin yung curve. So we have y is equal to, lipat natin sa right side yung natural logarithm. So yung natural logarithm nitong cosine x, ano? So that is also equal to secant x. Okay? Then find the derivatives. So we have y prime is equal to 1 over secant x, okay, times secant x tan x is equal to tan x. So magka-cancel out lang ito. Okay? The next, y double prime is equal to secant squared x. Okay? Kung ito yung y prime, so differentiate pa ulit natin yung tangent x. So makuha natin is secant squared x. The next, gamitin natin yung formula for the radius of curvature. So we have rho is equal to 1 plus y prime squared raised to 3 halves all over y prime. So nakuha na natin yung mga values ng y prime and y double prime. So substitute na lang. Okay? Then kung matatanda natin ito, that is also equal to secant squared x. Okay? So simplify natin. So ito, kakancel out. So we have secant cube x all over secant squared x. So matitira natin is secant x. Okay? So yan yung answer natin for problem 10. The next, we have the law of the mean. Okay? So if f of x is continuous on the interval, ano, yung x natin is in between a and b, and if f of x prime, ano, yung first derivative nito, f of x natin, exists everywhere on the interval except possibility at the endpoints, then there is at least one value of x, say x is equal to x naught between a and b, such that, so we have f of b minus f of a. Ito yung formula natin for the law of the mean. Okay? All over b minus a is equal to f prime ng x naught. So anong ibig sabihin yan? So by application, halimbawa, okay? So anong halimbawa niyan? So let's say, halimbawa meron ka sasakyan, ano? Then for 2 hours, ano? So na-cover mo yung 100 kilometers sa roadway na yon. Okay? So halimbawa, within 2 hours nakapag 100 kilometers ka na agad. So kukunin natin yung speed yan, okay? Yung average speed niyan. So we have 100 divided by 2. Okay? So we have the speed that is equal to 50 kph. Okay? So yan yung speed natin, 50 kph. Pero hindi naman, in reality, hindi naman constant 50 kph yung speed mo eh. Pwedeng tumaas yan and at some point, bababa sa 50 kph. Pero, there's a certain point in time wherein yung velocity, I mean not velocity, kundi yung speed ng vehicle mo is exactly equal to 50 kph. And yan yung definition ng law of the mean. Okay? So, ibig sabihin, at some point in time, so yung S natin is equal to 50 kph. So, same lang siya dito. Ano? So, there is at least one value of X, okay? Wherein, between A and B such that, so ito yung boundaries natin, ano? B and A and B. Okay? So, ito naman, for the generalized law of the mean, sa halimbawa, continuous yung f of x and g of x natin on the interval. So, same lang din. And meron tayong f of x and g of x na. Ano yung derivative ng f of x and g of x natin? So, kanina, f of x lang. So, meron na tayong dalawa. F of x and g of x. And the first derivative ng g of x natin should not be equal to 0 din. Everywhere in the interval except possibility at the endpoints. And there is at least one value of x then. Say, x is equal to x naught between a and b such that fb minus f of a all over g of b minus g of a is equal to ito. Okay? F prime ng x naught, okay, sinubstitute natin ano? All over g prime ng x naught natin. Okay, kung ito, makikita ninyo, familiar ito. Saan natin ito makikita? Sa L'Hopital's rule, ano? Okay, so ginagamit yung generalized law of the mean pagdating sa L'Hopital's rule. Okay, so ayun. So, let's try to solve some problems here. So, find x naught daw using extended law of the mean. So, meron tayong dalawang function, f of x is equal to 3x plus 2. Then, the second one is g of x is equal to x squared plus 1 at intervals 1 and 4. Okay, so ito yung a and b natin. Okay, so paano natin siya isosolve? So first, we have f of b and f of a. So ang gagawin natin, kukunin natin yung f of b. So f of 1, okay? And f of x at x is equal to 4. Okay? So nakuha na natin. Then next naman, for g of x naman. Okay? G of x, where x is equal to 4, then g of x, where x is equal to 1. Okay? So nakuha na natin yung f of 4, f of 1, g of 4, and g of 1. So next, okay? So ito yung ano natin, para hindi kayo malito, no? So, f of b is equal to 14. Okay? Ito yung f of b natin. Then ito naman yung f of a. Then ito naman yung g of b. Mali yung pagka-parenthesis natin. Then ito naman yung g of a. Then substitute na lang. Okay? Then next, kunin natin derivative kasi kailangan natin dito, no? So we have derivative nito, we have 3. Then ito naman, we have 2x. Okay? But since x naught yung gagamitin natin instead of x, ano? So we have 2x naught. Okay? So reminder, hindi 2x yung gagamitin natin, kundi x naught. We have 2x naught. Okay, next, solve for x naught. So gagamitin natin yung generalize. Okay? So substitute na natin yan dito. So we have 14 minus 5. Okay, 14 minus 5 all over 17 minus 2 is equal to yung f prime natin. Okay, that is equal to 3 over 2x naught. Okay, simplify natin ito. So we have 9 over 15 is equal to 3 over 2x naught. Then next, cross multiply natin. Okay, simplify muna pala. So we have 3 over 5 is equal to 3 over 2x naught. Then x naught, lipat natin sa left side. Okay, 2x naught is equal to, okay, 3 times 5/3. So magka-cancel out ito. So matitira natin is 5. Then, x naught natin is 5 half. Okay? And yan yung answer natin for problem 11. Okay? So, dyan nag-end yung lecture natin for differential calculus 1. So, next topic natin would be differential calculus 2. Okay?